Well, Christopher, thanks very much for joining us here on the Asian Game. Back in Cambodia now after a wild night in Laos last night, the first leg of the Shopee Cup preliminary playoffs. An important win, 3-2 win in that first leg. Just recap us on exactly what happened in a wild night in Vientiane.
Yeah, it was very eventful, very entertaining game. I think credit to both teams. They put on a good show for the people in the stadium and people that were watching. And it was a game that had everything. Late drama with us scoring 2 goals in the 90th minute to get the win, 2 red cards with 2 goalkeepers being sent off, a comeback from Lao, 1-0 down to go 2-1, and then a comeback from us, 2-1 down to come back and win 3-2. So, yeah, it was a game that had everything. So I think we're all still catching our breath after a crazy night of football, but very entertaining and obviously a very happy day for us winning the game.
ASEAN football is anything but dull. It must give the team enormous confidence now coming into the second leg. Of course, the winner of this goes through to the group stage. There's a big prize at the end of it for whoever gets through. Having a lead now coming from that first leg must give the team enormous confidence.
No, of course it does, and coming back obviously onto our home soil as well, and hopefully we'll have quite a number of fans at the game to kind of push us on over the line. But look, after last night, we'll be expecting another competitive game, another fight. We'll have to be at our best and even better than we were last night because the Lao team will come with nothing to lose now. They know that there's 90 minutes of football left and they have to try and overturn. So we have to be prepared to receive everything that they're going to give us, and hopefully we can do everything that we can to get over the line. And like you said, there's a big prize looking forward for us, and hopefully in the group stages.
Yeah, this is the first time in quite some time that we've had an ASEAN club championship. How important is it for a club like yours, from what I'd call is a sort of a developing nation, to get that international experience, to be able to get through to the group stage, play a group stage against some of the bigger teams in Southeast Asia, and get that international experience?
Yeah, I think there's two main parts. Number one, the international experience for our football club to continue to grow and develop, both obviously at a playing level for our players, and also just at a football club level to be playing consistently at international levels. The prestige of obviously being in these competitions and playing against the champions across Southeast Asia, and on top of that, the financial rewards. What the AFF and the ASEAN Club Championship is providing to the clubs for getting into the group stages is significant amounts of money, and money that can really support our club as we continue to develop.
And more money coming in through because you're in the Challenge League, AFC Challenge League, the new third tier of the AFC club competitions as well. Another important step for the club, huge opportunity for the club, really competing in these two international tournaments to really boost the profile and boost everything around the club.
No, absolutely. I think it's been a long time coming for AFC to restructure the second tier competition, which was the AFC Cup before. Now they've obviously done 3 tiers, but previously in the AFC Cup there was no prize money for getting to the group stages. There was no prize money for winning games. You only got a subsidy for traveling to away games, which in all honesty, at times maybe didn't cover all your expenses. And then when you were hosting games in, at home, then you had to cover all the expenses yourself. So actually playing in the AFC Cup under the previous format, clubs generally made a loss financially. It was more of the prestige of being in the competition and try to increase the coefficient of the country. But it's great to see now that AFC have pumped money into the new structure, and that there's going to be prize money there for getting into the groups and prize money for winning games and qualifying to the other rounds. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to being in that competition, and hopefully we can do well with the new format. And yeah, hopefully the finances that can come into the club can continue us progressing forward.
Now, tell us about your background because I'm sure our listeners have picked up on the accent. General manager of a club in Cambodia, but it's a thick Scottish accent that you've got there. So, how does a guy from Edinburgh in Scotland come to be in charge, general manager of a club in regional Cambodia?
Well, 11 years now in Cambodia, which is unbelievable when I say it. It's went so fast. But yeah, it's been a long journey. But the journey started through my dad. Actually, he moved to Cambodia in 2005. So back in Scotland, I had my own, coaching career going on there, and doing my coaching licenses, working in professional academies, and working with the SFA. And I was just coming every year on holiday to visit my dad. And every year I kept coming. I kept thinking, really interesting country, really cool country. Um, there's a kind of very kind of infant football development scene going on. And I thought, why not come here and see if I could try and implement what I was doing in Scotland, in Cambodia, and see if I could help. And 11 years later, I'm still here. um, so yeah, the journey started through that. I opened up a coaching company, which is still running now, which is a kind of grassroots where we do soccer schools, we run youth competitions, we work with schools to do football programs in the schools to try and help the development of grassroots football. And then through that, clubs, I guess, started to see, who's this kind of white guy, what's going on. And initially, I connected with Phnom Penh Crown back in 2015 and ended up joining them, initially as a opposition kind of analysis for their senior team, and then they started a residential academy, the first ever in Cambodia. So I then joined the residential academy, working there, as one of the coaches. So I was there for maybe about 18 months, and then, just felt that it was time for me to leave that project and just went back to the coaching company that I had. And then the current club, Svay Rieng, that I'm at, approached me. Initially, it was about academy manager. They wanted to restructure their academy, so that was the initial role that I accepted. After about 6 months, they decided that they wanted to try and go in a new direction with the club. They had only previously had local coaches, and they wanted to look at bringing in a foreign coach, and they asked me to help on the recruitment, which I did, and we brought in an Irish coach, Connor. And he was then subsequently with us for about 5.5 years. We won the league and qualified for AFC Cup. And what we started to realise once we brought Connor in is that actually the operational side of the club, there was many areas that were missing that we needed to try and develop, that we were accustomed to working in Europe. So naturally, I just kind of took on that role. Funnily enough, I still joke with the owners now. I've actually never been appointed the general manager. It just naturally happened. I just started to kind of take a hold and started to present that we need to implement these departments, we need to implement these processes, we need to recruit these kind of staff to help us develop the football club, and not just football operations, but also non-football operations. So, implementing, full-time media and marketing team, making sure, that we have all the various departments to ensure that we have a smooth operation. And then obviously all the football operations that we've been building for many years now. So yeah, through that, it's just been year after year we've been building, and we've building, and it's been 7 years that, I've been continuing in that role as a general manager, and been trying to develop the club. So yeah, it's a funny story how it kind of all happened. But I have to say, I've been very lucky at the club that I'm at, because we have fantastic owners, really supportive, really trustworthy as well. They don't interfere. They let you get on with the job. There's a trust there, and they really back you when you present to them about what we want to do, and this is why we need to do it. They support it. And yeah, now we're sitting here, 7 years down the line. We've got, a training ground that we built 2 years ago, which is, the first in the country, and, one of the leading clubs in the country. We're sitting here as double champions after winning the double for the first time in the club's history last year. We're really developing the stadium. We're doing a residential academy. We've got a women's team. We've got under 13s, under 16s, under 19s. So there's been huge development of the football club over the last few years, which obviously I'm so happy to have been a part of, and comes down to the support of the owners for they obviously investing into the club and allowing us to build this.
For our listeners that perhaps aren't aware, tell us about the clubs. Svay Rieng, as you said, where are they based? What's the history of the club, and what's the ultimate ambition and vision that you and the owners share for the club as well?
Yeah, so it's one of the older clubs in Cambodian football. It was formed in 1995, I think it was. It was changed owner to our current owner in 2013. The club was originally called Preah. It was just based in Phnom Penh, the capital. And then when our owner took over, he added in Svay Rieng to the name. So it's now Preah Svay Rieng, a very long name. But it's Svay Rieng is the province that he is from. So we relocated the club's home stadium to Svay Rieng. So we play all our official matches in the province in Svay Rieng. It's one of the most successful clubs in the country, and we've won the FA Cup more than any other club in history. Um, we've still got a few to go in terms of trying to get to the aspirations of being the leaders in winning the most league titles. We're on 3 at the moment, still 5 behind Phnom Penh Crown. It's one of our aims is to get there. But we're a very community orientated football club. Community is really at the heart of our football club. As I said, we are a club that represents a province. We are the only football club in Svay Rieng. So when we go there for official matches, we are the heart and soul of the community there. We have very, very loyal fans that pack out the stadium, sell out every home game, and follow us across the country. And in terms of where we want to be and what we're trying to do as a football club, we're trying to be kind of leaders and pioneers within Cambodian football to help it drive on to higher levels, which I feel we are doing. And we want to try and be the first Cambodian club to win AFC. A Cambodian club has never done it before. Can we bring an AFC title back to Cambodia? That's where we want to get to, and that's what we're building, and hopefully we can get there. But yeah, it's that's the long term objective of the football club.
Just back onto your journey again now. As you said, it's rather unique having someone from your background in charge of sort of the commercial side of a club in Southeast Asia. What's the response from other club owners, from other clubs, from other people within the country as well? I see now you're on the technical committee, I think it is, of the league as well. So you're taking on an even bigger role within sort of Cambodian football. But what was the response like when you first started out? Was there a little bit of sort of like, who's this guy coming in, or was there a lot of support from the start?
Um, I mean, I have to say from my own personal experience, I don't know what people were saying in the background. Who knows? But the experience that I have had is everybody's been very open and very welcoming. One thing that I do feel is maybe quite unique about Cambodian football, I can't really speak for other countries in the region, is that they do want to develop, they do want to progress, and they are aware that they need support from outside of Cambodia to do that. And I don't think there's any shame in that. I think all countries need people from other countries to come in with different ideas, different cultures, different backgrounds, different experiences to help the development of the game. And Cambodia, from my experience being here, is very open to that. They are not closed off. They're not, no, it must be our way. So my journey so far, my experience so far has been very, very good, very, very pleasant. Like you said, I'm on the competitions committee for the CPL and the FFC. And a few years back, I was also a technical advisor for the competitions committee as well. So I've been heavily involved in Cambodian football for many, many years, and I've always had a warm welcome and always been well received with ideas and things that I put forward on the table to try and help the development of the game.
So just finally then, why should people get excited about Cambodian football? It sort of shot to prominence a little bit when Casca Honda came to sort of coach or manage the Cambodian national team. A lot of people sort of paid attention to how he was going and how Cambodian football was developing. But on our sister podcast, the ASEAN Game, recently, we had a player from Visaka who are doing fantastic things in Cambodia as well. You've mentioned Phnom Penh Crown, who are a known quantity in AFC competitions, and of course what you're doing at Svay Rieng as well. Why should people pay attention, and why should people get excited about what's happening in Cambodian football?
I think it's because it's going to be a footballing nation that is going to seriously compete at some point. And certainly from a club level. I feel that the clubs are knocking on the doors of ASEAN football. Of, we're here to compete. We're not here just to participate and enjoy it. We're here to win. And a lot of people from outside are coming to visit our club. Other football orientated people, whether it's agents, whether it's general managers from other clubs that are coming to visit us, and they're astonished of what's happening on the ground here. They had no idea in terms of the infrastructure that's getting built, the professionalism surrounding the clubs, how fast we are developing. And many do believe that Cambodian football is going to start to not only compete with some ASEAN countries in the region, but possibly overtake. And it's down to owners in Cambodian football that really want to make a difference, that are really investing. A lot of good people work on the ground, both locally and foreigners. I'm not the only foreigner here. There's a lot of good foreigners on the ground working both in technical aspects and also in operational aspects of football clubs. So I think it's exciting to watch because it's a nation that has always been, in my opinion, in terms of football over the last 5 6 years, looked down upon, and I think unfairly in terms of on the club side of things. The national team is a different thing. So I think it's exciting to see that it's maybe an underdog, a sleeping kind of giant in football that actually may be starting to come into promise now, and start to really knocking on the doors and making some impact in Asian football. We've already seen just last year Phnom Crown, beating the Australian team MacArthur here, in Cambodia, getting to the semi-finals of the AFC Cup for the first time ever. We've seen in group stages over the last few years. I mean, we beat Bali United in the group stages, who probably have 10 times our budget. Visaka also beat them in the group stages a couple of seasons ago as well. So we are starting to break down some walls and break down some doors, that we're here and we're serious about football. So I think for people on the outside who like ASEAN football, I think it's very exciting to watch where this journey might go.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, thanks for joining us. Good luck for the second leg next week. Good luck for everything else you're hoping to achieve with not just your own club but Cambodian football as well. We'll certainly be paying close attention, and we hope to see you in the Shopee Cup group stage at some point in the future as well.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.